Di depan Anda ini ada sebuah lukisan, ini lukisan saya lukiskan penglihatan saya dalam sebuah mimpi yang Tuhan beri tahun 2007 bulan Desember waktu lalu. Waktu itu 2008 terjadi krisis moneter. Ya. Dan tapi ini Tuhan sudah berikan terlebih dahulu janji, karena itu saya berikan judul lukisan ini, emas dan perak kepunyaanku, engkau akan hidup oleh janji-janjiku. Jadi saya pasang di sini karena berhubungan dengan khotbah saya, supaya jadi berkat buat Anda. Coba Anda lihat, Tuhan berjanji bahwa orang Kristen yang taat dan sungguh-sungguh hati akan diluputkan oleh Tuhan Yesus. Tak ada masa paceklik bagi orang yang digembalakan oleh Gembala Agung kita. Kalau kita turun pun sebentar saja, Tuhan kasih hikmat kita keluar dan naik ke atas. Waktu dalam penglihatan saya melihat berkat dicurahkan dan ditembakkan dari sorganya langsung ke pintu rumah dan tempat kerja anak-anak Tuhan yang taat. Ya, ini kurang lebih ilustrasi yang saya lihat dalam mimpi saya, yang saya lihat tentunya lebih heboh, tapi jari jemari saya terbatas untuk mengilustrasikannya. Tapi ini yang the best that I could give to you, to show to you. Saya mau dorong Anda untuk percaya that God will bless you, bahwa Allah akan memberkati kita. Kita ini anak-anak Tuhan, tidak ada yang namanya terpengaruh dengan ekonomi. Ekonomi kita langsung lebih tinggi daripada Wall Street, the Heaven Street. Kita tidak akan terpengaruh kalau kita percaya, kalau kita mau dituntun sama Roh Kudus, kita akan selalu diluputkan. Saya tidak ajarkan Injil Kemakmuran, saya ajarkan Injil Kebijakan.
So why do I feel so strongly about the so-called prosperity gospel? There's an easy answer, but before I give it, let me define it a little bit. It's on a continuum from the most radical to what would be called soft or light. And the most radical would basically say, God wants you rich, and you should partner with Him by faith to pursue riches. And the justification would be given, can't accomplish much in life without money. And so, go for it. Or another rationale might be, you're kingdom kids, and kingdom kids don't wear tattered clothes, they dress like the king, and so on. The light would be simply being more cautious not to say those gross things about wealth, but to minimize sin and minimize pain and only talk about how well things will go for you if you follow Christ. So why do I abominate this so-called gospel? I think it is another gospel. And the first reason would be simply to go straight to the Bible and see what Paul says about those who want to be rich. I mean, it's just, he says, this is 1 Timothy 6:6. Now there's great gain in godliness with contentment. In other words, without craving for stuff. For we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. If we have food and clothing, with these we'll be content. It's just amazing. But those who desire to be rich, now here's the key text. This is verse 9. Those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving, that is, this craving to be rich, that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs. In other words, the very thing that leads people to suicidal piercings of pangs, namely the desire to be rich, is nurtured and cultivated by the prosperity preachers. They are encouraging that this suicidal behavior happen. That's abominable. Or Jesus said, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Why would he say that? It's because riches are such dangerous things. They're not a blessing usually. They're usually a curse. People are cursed with riches. They're destroyed by riches. And here again, a little parenthesis of qualification. I don't mean it's sinful to make a lot of money. I just mean it's sinful to want to keep a lot of money. And it's suicidal to want to keep a lot of money. Bigger barns and bigger cars and bigger houses and bigger portfolios and finer clothes, and everything is growing with your income, so that your conscience is getting harder and harder, because if you're a Christian at this point, your conscience is having to say, it's okay, it's okay. This is okay. This is the Calvary Road. This is what it means to deny yourself. This is what it means to follow Jesus. This is what it means to die every day. This is what it means to have my treasure in heaven. And it doesn't. It won't work. So your conscience has to be lacerated in order to keep from killing yourself. And so Jesus says, it's hard for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. Paul says those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and pierce themselves with many pangs. And along comes a prosperity preacher who says, yes, the Lord really wants you to be rich. We should pursue riches. Following Jesus is the pathway to riches. Riches are the sign of God's blessing. I would just say those are in mutual contradiction for each other, and therefore this is deadly